The 1960s were a time when kids rode in the backs of pickups like human luggage, moms tanned with baby oil and tinfoil, and you could order a rifle or a monkey through the mail. It was colorful, it was chaotic, and somehow it was all completely normal. Let's take a walk down memory lane and revisit 20 things from the 60s that were totally everyday back then, but would raise some serious eyebrows and maybe a few lawsuits today. Moms smoking and drinking while pregnant. Prenatal care in the 60s, let's just say it was chill. A pregnant woman could be spotted at a cocktail party with a cigarette in one hand and a Manhattan in the other. You didn't get side-eye. People just assumed you were relaxing. Doctors sometimes even told moms that a cigarette might calm your nerves, and many of us turned out just fine. Mostly. Parents let kids ride in the back of pickup trucks at full speed. Forget booster seats. If you needed a ride to Little League, you and 5 other kids just hopped in the open bed of a speeding pickup truck. No seatbelts, no cushions, just windburn and adrenaline. Going 60 mph on the highway in the back of a rusted Ford, that was your first roller coaster, and if it started to rain, you just ducked behind a toolbox and hoped for the best. Kids delivered newspapers alone at 6 a.m. The paperboy, or girl, was an institution. Preteens on bikes tossing rolled-up newspapers onto porches like paper ninjas at the crack of dawn before school. You collected your own money, managed your own route, and dealt with cranky customers who wanted to talk about their bill. It was your first job, your first taste of responsibility, and your first experience getting yelled at for throwing the paper in the bushes. Moms left babies in the car while shopping. Yes, seriously, need to pick up milk and smokes? Just leave the baby in the back seat with the windows cracked, maybe. No car seat, no AC, no problem. You'd come out 20 minutes later, baby still sleeping, car still there, world still spinning. These days, that's a felony. Back then, it was just running a quick errand. Kids played with actual explosives. Before safety warnings were a thing, kids had chemistry sets that could blow up your garage. Real uranium was in toy science kits. Fireworks? Sold in paper bags at gas stations. Cap guns sparked. BB guns were handed out like candy. If you didn't nearly lose an eyebrow lighting a cherry bomb or building a questionable rocket in your backyard, were you even a 60s kid? Asbestos was basically a building block. Your ceiling, asbestos. Your school walls, asbestos. That weird fake snow your mom sprinkled on the Christmas tree, you guessed it, asbestos. People thought it was a miracle material, fireproof, durable, white and fluffy. It was everywhere, until they realized it could also kill you. But hey, your grandma's kitchen tiles were practically bulletproof. You could buy a machine gun through the mail, yes, through the mail. Until 1968, it was totally legal to order firearms, including high-powered rifles and machine guns, straight out of catalogs like Sears or Montgomery Ward. No background checks, no waiting periods. Just fill out a form and your new hardware showed up at your doorstep like a pizza. And we're worried about porch pirates today? People sunbathed with baby oil and reflectors. The 60s weren't big on sunscreen. SPF was a mystery acronym. Instead, you slathered yourself in baby oil, laid on a towel, and pointed a tinfoil reflector at your face like you were roasting a Thanksgiving turkey. The goal? Get as tan as humanly possible in one afternoon, preferably red first, then peel, then tan. Bonus if you smelled like coconut and pain. Playing outside all day without supervision. Today, letting your kid play outside alone gets you posted on a neighborhood app. In the 60s, that was just called Tuesday. You were expected to be out of the house after breakfast, on your bike, in the woods, down by the creek, or wherever your imagination took you. No phones, no check-ins. Your mom's only rule? Be home by dinner. If you came home covered in mud, bruises, and mosquito bites, even better. Lawn darts were a thing for children. Let's take a sharp, weighted metal spike and make it a family game. That was jarts, the backyard death trap that every kid begged to play. The goal? Toss a dart in the air and pray it didn't impale someone. There was no helmet, no instruction manual, and definitely no adult supervision. Just pure, 100% chaos in the yard. And at least one cousin with a scar as a souvenir. Everyone tanned with tanning lamps indoors. If the sun wasn't frying you fast enough, just pull up a home tanning lamp, basically a miniature sun in your living room. You'd sit in front of this radioactive-looking thing wearing tinfoil goggles and roast your face like a marshmallow. Skin damage, never heard of her. This was health and beauty, 1960s style. Who needed melanin when you had mild radiation? Burning trash in the backyard. Recycling was not a thing. You had a burn barrel, and when the trash filled up, you'd go out back, dump it in, and light it on fire. Hoof, problem solved. No garbage trucks, no landfill guilt. Sure, it smelled like scorched plastic and despair, but it got the job done. Plus, every kid loved getting to poke it with a stick. Lead paint was on everything. Walls, toys, cribs, lunchboxes. If it had color, it probably had lead paint. Teething? That's okay. Just gnaw on that vibrant blue windowsill. Chipped paint? Just scrape it off with your fingers and eat a sandwich. Lead was basically seasoning back then. Kids were tougher, and maybe a little more loopy. People took diet pills that were basically speed. Before keto and protein shakes, there was one word: amphetamines. Yep, if you needed to slim down in the 60s, your doctor might just prescribe you prescription speed. It curbed your appetite and gave you the energy to clean the house like a possessed tornado. Moms popped diet pills like Tic Tacs and vacuumed with the force of 5 hurricanes. Side effects? Who cared? You were thin and productive. Kids played on 10-foot-tall metal playgrounds over concrete. Modern playgrounds have foam padding, rounded edges, and safety warnings. In the 1960s, playgrounds were death gauntlets made of blistering hot metal and concrete. We're talking 12-foot jungle gyms, seesaws that could launch you into orbit, and merry-go-rounds that achieved warp speed. No helmets, no soft landings. If you didn't break a tooth or sprain an ankle, were you even playing hard enough? Kids had BB gunfights for fun. This wasn't paintball, this wasn't laser tag. This was actual metal pellets flying at your face in a suburban reenactment of trench warfare. You and your friends would split into teams, duck behind trash cans, and open fire with BB guns you got for your birthday. No eye protection, no rules, just bragging rights, bruises, and a strong chance of mom yelling when she saw the welt on your forehead. Jell-O was a culinary canvas. Jell-O wasn't just dessert, it was a showstopper. Want to impress your dinner guests? Throw some shrimp, olives, and cottage cheese in lime Jell-O and call it a salad. There were cookbooks full of Jell-O masterpieces. Even meat got the gelatin treatment. It wiggled, it jiggled, and it probably haunted your dreams. Hitchhiking was no big deal. Need a ride? Stick out your thumb and smile. People picked you up, no questions asked. It wasn't weird or creepy. It was just how people got around. Strangers weren't stranger danger. They were just neighbors you hadn't met yet. Of course, it eventually went out of fashion for very real reasons, but for a while it was just another form of public transport, without the public or the fare. You could buy a real monkey from the back of a comic book. Yes, a real live monkey. For about $20, you could order one from a tiny classified ad in the back pages of a comic book. No permit, no questions. You just get a monkey delivered to your door like a pizza. And shocker, they were insane. They bit people, wrecked furniture, and flung poop like tiny chaos demons. But for a brief, magical moment, some kid in Middle America got to say, "This is my pet monkey, Bubbles." And no one called CPS. Airplane cabins were basically smoking lounges in the sky. Flying in the 60s, oh, it was glamorous, but also basically a pressurized ashtray at 30,000 feet. The smoking section on planes was half the plane, sometimes the whole plane. You'd be eating a soggy chicken cordon bleu while the guy next to you chain-smoked Lucky Strikes like he was in a noir film.